Hello, ladies. How are we all doing? Today is really important topic. I'm trying different software as well, so hopefully you're gonna hear me well because I want to share with you how to eat to actually burn the body fat and how to get toned more effectively without starving and how can we fuel our body because this is something that I've seen all the time in my past 5 years of coaching over 350 women. They all came here and then they didn't know what to eat and how much to eat, so this is something that I want to definitely teach you because we want to see faster results, okay? And the plan is you will learn so much on this live stream. So if you have any questions, please always ask me, okay? That's why I'm here for you. And most women that don't see amazing results, they are actually skipping breakfast. So this is something that I want you to think about for like before we're gonna dive in, basically, because many women think that if they are starving or if they are saving calories in the morning, then they can skip breakfast so they have more calories later in the evening, which kind of leads to having just coffee until 1 p.m., eating tiny salads for lunch, and then feeling like you are starving. You have a lot of cravings later on in a day. And this is what we don't want to have, just because it is not about discipline. It is basically your body is just starving and you are not fueling the body properly. So today I'm going to go over the simple meal structure that you can use to actually lose fat and look more toned. So hopefully you are ready, okay? So why meal timing matters. And you keep asking me quite a lot of time, so I am hoping that I'm going to answer all your questions. And when your meals are structured properly, during your day, during the week, during your workouts, you will see amazing things happening to your body because your energy will be actually stable. You will have better workouts. You will sleep better. You will have more energy. You will not be grumpy. You will not be thinking about chocolate all the time. So you will not have cravings that much. And this is what we want to actually grow the muscles and to feel amazing on a daily basis. Because if we're going to fuel our body, you're gonna have more strength, you're gonna have more muscles, you're gonna look more toned, you're gonna burn more body fat, and you will feel full for longer as well. You will have enough energy, you will have a lot of focus for your work as well, because that's what is happening. Like, this is why we are saying, like, fuel your body. Because if you're gonna be under eating all day, you are just starving, and then your fat loss will be super slow. Or the other way around, if you are eating more than your calories, obviously it will be super hard for you to lose the weight, because as science, we just work with the numbers, or the body works with the numbers. If you go over your calories, then obviously it will be super hard for you to lose the body fat no matter what, even if your meal timing is perfect. So if you want to see really good results, first I want you to track your meals, track your macros even over the weekend. I don't care if you're gonna go over your calories or if you're gonna go over your carbs and so on. It's just data for me to see how I can help you, okay? So let's go into how to structure your meals so you will see faster results. Usually, what I would recommend is to have 3 to 4 meals per day. Sometimes I eat 5 meals a day. I was at the point when I was eating seven, but I don't recommend that because this is what you are always thinking and it's just food. And so, for the best results, I would recommend 4 meals per day. Not one huge meal, not one huge lunch or one huge dinner or seven small snacking meals, but instead I want you to try to focus on 4 meals, maybe 5 meals if you really want some dessert after your dinner as well. Let's just keep it super simple, okay? So if we're gonna think about 4 meals, then you have breakfast, lunch, then after lunch around like 3 4 you will have a snack, and then you will have a dinner. And the most important rule in here is protein in every single meal, because that will help you to actually build the muscles, to stay full for longer, and you will be also burning more calories through the digestion. So that's the key why we are eating so much protein as well. So let's go into the examples. So now we have 4 meals. If you're gonna start with your breakfast, which is non-negotiable, even if it's just a banana, I want you to definitely start with your breakfast before you're gonna before you're gonna drink any coffee, because if you're gonna drink coffee on an empty stomach, you will just increase your cortisol and your fat loss will actually be slower because your body is in a panic mode. So that's why we need to start with the breakfast. But I'm not talking about any kind of breakfast. I'm not talking about croissants or just the banana or just the coffee. Okay. I want you to have something with the protein, non negotiable. Because if you don't have the protein, you will feel hungry very quickly and you will be starving or you will have a lot of cravings later in the day. So if you start with something sugary like cereals, maybe even bagels, because they are hidden sugars in like any breads, bagels, but you can still eat it. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying if you're gonna have something with sugar in the morning, you will spike your glucose and you will have more cravings through the whole day. Just to be aware of that, okay? So, for example, much better breakfast would be a Greek yogurt, 0% fat. So you have protein. Then you're gonna have berries. They are low in calories, high in volume. Then you're gonna have 20 grams of raw oats. So I want you to track it by grams always. So 20 to 30 grams of oats. And then you can put like 10 grams or 10 grams of chia seeds. What I usually do to feel fuller, I put warm water into the oats and chia seeds. I put my makeup on and so on, so they will kind of like absorb the water, so they will release more fiber. And then on top of it, I'm gonna put like a small 10 grams dark chocolate, and it will nicely melt, with the warm water, with the warm oats. So you will have this kind of like chocolatey Greek yogurt with berries bowl. Or you can add maybe like half of the banana, or maybe you can have pumpkin seeds instead of chia seeds. Maybe you can have walnuts. Maybe you can have maybe a little bit of protein powder, like a chocolate protein powder or vanilla protein powder. Or maybe you can have maybe like 10 grams of honey. So you can definitely play with it so you actually like it, because if you don't like your food, then you will not stick to it for long term. Then another option, if you don't like Greek yogurt, then I would go for eggs. So I would have two normal eggs, so you are having the healthy fat. Then I would have two extra egg whites with that, so you are increasing the volume and you are also having extra protein, so you will not feel hungry anytime soon. With that, you can pair it with some mushrooms. They are low in calories. Zucchini, low in calories. Maybe green beans if you have time, low in calories, or any kind of salad, any peppers, cucumbers, and so on, because it's low in calories. With that, I would have some carbs, which is sourdough, number one, it's top, or whole grain toast. Or for healthy fats, I would have a little bit of avocado. Let's say 30 grams, 40 grams of avocado is plenty for your body. Definitely use salt and pepper, make it tasty. Now, we need to have fiber, so that's why we need to have some fruit or veggies in every single meal. We need the protein, and then we need the energy from the carbs. So I don't want you to skip carbs in the morning as well, okay? Because it's important for you. We need to fuel your body. Then we can go into the lunch. And then if you have time to cook, then you can cook anything. You can just put it into the up. But if you are maybe making some meal preps, I definitely want you to track everything by grams before you're gonna cook it. And honestly, just keep it simple. You don't need to overcomplicate your nutrition. This is like one of the biggest mistakes I've seen, is when you are trying to complicate what you will be eating, like how challenging it is, but you can just stick to a protein source. What protein source you actually like? Is it chicken, turkey, salmon, prawns, beef, steaks, whatever you like, and then pair it with some carbs. Could be rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, quinoa, lentils. Then pair it with some healthy fats. Maybe olive oil, maybe salmon is a healthy fat, so you can maybe have like that with the protein, or avocado, or maybe olives, or yeah, some walnuts, maybe nuts, oil, and stuff like that. So pair it with a little bit of health fat, and then we want to again keep the fiber high. So definitely some roasted veggies would be good. Green beans, any veggies would be nice as well. So give your body fuel for the rest of the day, because if you will not fuel your body for the lunchtime, then you will not have a lot of focus, you will not have a lot of energy, and again, you will be starving by the end of the day and you will have a lot of cravings. So then we go into the snack, because after lunch we always want to have something like dessert, something nice with a coffee, maybe around like 3 or 4 p.m. Then this is something that I would go for a protein snack. If you are craving something sweet, I would have a chocolate bar, like a chocolate protein bar, or you can have the chocolate, vanilla, blueberry puddings from Lidl, from Sainsbury's, from Tesco, wherever you are, you can have those protein puddings or protein yogurt, or you can just have simple as that protein shake and a banana. You can have another Greek yogurt and the berries. You can have cottage cheese on, yeah, like a small sourdough, or maybe rice cake, or maybe I like to have quark with apple, cinnamon, pumpkin seeds. That's my favorite right now. Or yeah, you can have literally anything that is kind of small, and it will keep you going with your energy, with your cravings. It will keep you going. So for example, if you are eating protein bar, it is very small basically, and sometimes you will not feel satisfied. So I would pair it with some blueberries, because blueberries, you can eat them a lot and they are still low in calories, and you will feel fuller, you will feel more satisfied because you keep kind of snacking. So yeah, protein shake again. Yeah, I would have some strawberries with that as well. So you keep kind of snacking, because if you just gonna drink your calories or just the protein shake, you will feel hungry quite soon, because it's just water basically, and your body will digest it quite quickly. Then dinner example is focusing on recovery, especially if you've had really hard day, or maybe you've had some workouts. We want to definitely focus on protein and fats, most importantly. Okay, so we use the carbs in the morning, in the lunch, so we gonna have more energy for the whole day. And then for dinner, we want to actually focus on protein and then the healthy fats. So for example, steak and roasted veggies are really good, or salmon with some salad, maybe chicken stir fry with veggies. I honestly love salmon and a little bit of sweet potatoes and some roasted veggies as well. Or chicken thighs are good because they are high in fats. And then I usually eat it again with some kimchi. Kimchi is so good for your gut health. Sauerkraut is good for your gut health. Any gherkins. So definitely, if you feel bloated, then these kind of gut healthy foods will be beneficial for you. And carbs are not the enemy for dinner. You just need to really track it by grams, because if you're gonna overload your calories, you will be waiting a little bit more the next day, because your body didn't have time to digest it, and carbs hold a lot of water on them. So when you're gonna step on the scale the next day, you might see that your body is waiting a little bit more, and it's not fat, it is just the carbs that you didn't digest. So just be aware of that. So that's why I would like you to focus maybe on like 40 grams of carbs in the dinner. But again, it just you just need to see how you can fit everything into your macros. There's no wrong and good answer. Honestly, I like to keep it around 500 calories in each meal, kind of thing. For example, if you are eating a little bit less than me, like 1,800, then you can do like 400 calories, and then snack will have just 300 calories. So you can definitely play with that, but I wouldn't go over like 500 calories in one meal. That's just my opinion. And I think your body will be responding a little bit more and better if you're going to divide it really nicely, because you will not feel super heavy. You will not feel super tired after the food as well. And we definitely don't want to skip meals during the day. Okay. We definitely don't want to skip the protein. And I want you to drink water with your meals too, because if you're going to drink water, you will digest the food much better. And if you are trying to save the calories, then try to just limit the healthy fats and limit the carbs through the whole day, so you can save the calories for later in the evening if you are, for example, going out. But hopefully that's just like one off, maybe it's over the weekends, but it's not like every single day, because we need to fuel the body through the whole day. almost on a daily basis to burn the body fat rather than being in the fight mode when the body doesn't know if it's gonna get some meals. So I would try to stick to a meal times that suits you. I, for example, eat at 8, then 12:30, then 4, and then at 8. So this is what I do, and it works for my body. So maybe try to find meal times that works for you. If you, for example, forget to eat, I would set a timer on your phone, and I would just try to stick to it for at least like 2 weeks to see how your body will be responding. And if you are thinking maybe like if you should still be eating breakfast, if you are waking up at 5, yes, I still want you to eat something that is small at least. If you are working out and you are doing really heavy workouts, I want you to focus on carbs around the workouts because we need the energy to push really hard. So increase your carbs a little bit around the workouts. So if you know that, for example, you are hitting legs, then I would have a lot of carbs in the morning for breakfast, and then I would have a lot of carbs for my lunch. And then I would train, and then for snack and dinner, I would have a little bit less carbs, just so I can balance it and I will have a lot of strength to push heavy in the gym because that will help you to burn more body fat and get more toned. I hope it makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions because I know it can be quite challenging to kind of understand everything, but don't worry, I'm not trying. I don't want you to be perfect because I've been learning this for the past 10 years. So it will take us couple, months, maybe a year to get to where we want to be and to learn everything because there is a lot of science, a lot of strategy. So, yeah, this is just a general information that I want you to think about, but you are doing really well. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll speak to you soon.